Herzlich willkommen, meine Damen und Herren. Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are here back after 3 weeks on OKTAGON 88 in the great city of Hannover. And we are ready for 10 fights. And I have to say, gentlemen, that I was hoping for the night like this, when it's all gonna be lead to the one particular fight, where it's gonna be like on the boxing shows. You know, when you got the only one fight in the end, where everybody's gonna be excited and maybe the whole country want to see it.
It is the biggest fight you can put on German soil right now. The HOLZER versus TAHA main event has everything. It's got the history, the bad blood, the roller coaster of if it would ever happen, but it is. It's happening here. It's happening tonight. We will see who will be the better man.
We've been waiting 13 months for this one, but first you have to say hi to all our fans here in Hannover.
I am happy to do that. Servus Hannover, seid ihr gut drauf? I think they passed the vibe check, didn't they?
Definitely, definitely. So what do you think about the main event?
Man, it is personal. It is, from a sports perspective, on the highest level. All the ingredients for one hell of a matchup are going to be in there. We got old school versus new school. And Brian, you mentioned the bad blood. So right now, this is the fight to watch. But to be honest, we haven't seen Max Holzer now for 1 year in the cage. And everybody in Fight School Hannover told us he's got something special prepared in terms of his fighting style, and he wants to surprise everybody today, and I cannot wait to fight that out.
But we also saw many fighters who's got like a little bit stuck after 1 year. It's not easy to go back, and especially not against opponent like TAHA is.
Yeah, and TAHA has been training. He's been fighting 2-0 in OKTAGON so far. That is the big question mark. What Max Holzer will we've seen? What he's done in his career, 11-0 is incredible. What he's done in our cage, 5-0 is outstanding. But tonight, by far, is his biggest test.
And also, it was not easy for Max. In these 13 months, he's got 2 serious injuries, broken leg. So can he be better than last year in Dortmund with Elbay?
To be honest, he needs to, because as soon as this cage door is shutting down, there's no time for ring rust. He needs to develop, or he needs to deliver from the very first second on. Otherwise, he's going to be in trouble.
Obviously, whoever gonna be the winner, he can ask for the title.
There has to be. This is number, I think, 3 and 4 in the rankings now. You see Nico has moved to lightweight, so technically 2 and 3. Whoever gets this victory has every right to ask for that title shot after this.
So this is gonna be our main event. But we got a lot of dark horses in this race. So who you got?
My potential show stealer is Hachi Akseker versus Rafael Federico, because Hachi Akseker is known to be one of the most feared strikers who is now up and coming. But in Rafael Federico, he's got somebody who was a little bit unlucky in his first couple of fights here, but now he's even hungrier, and I think this is going to be one hell of a match.
Brian, yeah,
I go.
You go.
Okay. Co-main event. You've got Calm versus Chaos. You've got Hugo Vac from Fight School Hannover coming off the back of one of the most sublime performances we've seen in our cage, taking on Teo Smith, who is everything about Chaos. Unorthodox, wild, hungry, 100% finish rate as well. So that one for me could steal the show.
So I will say heavyweights, because 230 kilos in a cage. Yevgeny Orlov was waiting in different arenas for his match, and finally he's got it in OKTAGON, and he's coming back after 7 years. He's got a pretty long streak of winning, and against him is a guy who was not proven yet in OKTAGON, but he believes he can be our next champion. So we will see tonight who is right and who's gonna win. But this is OKTAGON 88. We can start right now.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to OKTAGON 88, just broken down beautifully by Andre Novotny, Brian Lacey, and Philip Harberger. Brian will be joining me very shortly. We have a night of chaos for you in Hanover. Everyone talking about the main event, and some of the other fights were highlighted for you there. For me, the co-main event is the one to be excited for, and I know Brian is excited for that one too.
Yeah, what a fight that is. And again, you talked to me about Hugo Vac. You think that was one of the breakthrough performances of last year. That was back in Prague against Wojtek Gol. Only man to ever finish and beat that rising Czech superstar. So we will see. But like we said, 10 fights ahead of us, all under these rules inside the OKTAGON cage. Talk us through Mr. Luke Barnett.
Yeah, the mixed martial arts fights will take place inside a cage shaped as a circle known as the octagon. Standing up techniques will be utilized: boxing, Thai boxing, karate, and many others. The fight can continue onto the ground, where contestants will utilize grappling techniques, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Sambo. And the fights tonight, all of the fights tonight, can take over 3 5-minute rounds. And a fight can be decided by knockout, TKO, submission, or go to points. The deciding factor for the judges for the points are effective striking and damage. Damage, the number one thing that matters, the most decisive. Following up from that is looking to complete and finish the fight, trying to finish fights, trying to control the octagon real estate, and trying to put on a fantastic performance for our fans. Aggression and area control. All elbow strikes are now legal. Every strike that you can think of can be thrown. That 12-6 rule has been thrown out, has been removed. And a grounded opponent has to have 3 points of contact from the lower body on the ground. So that has to be a knee and 2 feet. The hand touching the ground no longer counts as a grounded opponent.
So those are the rules of the Octagon cage. Again, ahead of us, 10 fights, topped by that main event. The fight we thought we had lost against Max HOLZER versus TAHA. So much anticipation. All these fans, you heard it on the call out when people were talking about TAHA hitting here, the boos. The echoes were massive. What's your thoughts on us finally getting the fight we've been after?
Finally getting it, like you said, the biggest fight you can make on German soil, and TAHA is hated inside this arena. Max HOLZER, you know, has got such a personality and has always delivered inside the cage. A bit of time off. He needs to continue that tonight against probably his toughest fight ever.
Yeah, without a doubt. Again, TAHA all the way through rising, the UFC, a phenomenal record. Started his career as 11-0 before he then went onto the biggest stage. Now he's back here on this giant stage in Europe, the biggest promotion in Europe, looking to silence that young man, Max HOLZER. There was so much talk in the press conference. All that stops now, and we are set and ready for our card to continue. This is our preliminary card. It will start with only our second ever amateur fight. 3 3-minute rounds to settle that one. Jan HOLZER, the younger brother, making his debut of Max HOLZER. Then we have Daubeko versus Kabak. Moving on to Kohler versus Detzel. Detzel, one of the touted talents coming out of that fight school, Hannover, looking to make his debut. Then Daniele Mistelli, 49 years young, will take on Ivana Petrovic, the UFC veteran. And that will lead us to our feature prelim. The two most experienced fighters on the card. Hannover's own Daniel Mackin will take on Christian, the Austrian Emperor Draxler. What a fight card, Luke. This will light the arena into our main card, right?
Exactly that, and this is one of those nights where a lot of dark horses, a lot of performances we wouldn't expect, not so many names on our undercard, or big opportunities for a lot of people to make impressions and move up the ranks.
Yeah, without a doubt. Again, 10 debut fighters on this card, all looking to make their mark. 6 fighters from Fight School Hannover as well. Starting with this one, and as I said, our second ever amateur fight in Octagon history. The last time we had an amateur fight back in Cologne, that was finished in 19 seconds by Michael Obadozi. He's now moved into the professional ranks. Jan HOLZER, the younger brother of Max HOLZER, now on the charge to make his mark in the Octagon cage. But Paul Cools, more experience, coming now, looking to make his mark as well. This kicks us off our YouTube free prelim. Jan HOLZER versus Paul Cools coming up.
HOLZER is a name known to every Octagon fan, and now another member of the family is about to enter the cage. Jan HOLZER is the younger brother of one of Germany's biggest stars, Max HOLZER, and his arrival has naturally brought huge interest. But it's not only about his surname. He already made a huge impression in his amateur debut at the end of last year. Although he's only at the beginning of his journey, his potential can't be overlooked. The local representative from Hannover will face off against an opponent from Berlin, Spike Jim. Paul Cools has more experience on the amateur scene. He's fought 5 times in total, and in his most recent bouts, he's the kind of fighter who works dutifully inside the cage and knows how to pace himself. This will be only the second amateur fight in Octagon's history. And this time around, everything is in place for us to follow the start of another remarkable story of new faces on the scene.
Ladies and gentlemen, representing Spike Jim Berlin, the man of the evening, this is Paul Coulson!
So here we go, announcing himself into the arena, Paul HOLZER. Stepping in here, representing Berlin Spike Gym. Now, Luke, he has more experience on the amateur scene. He's been fighting for quite a while now. He's 36 years of age. He's got a record of 2 wins, 3 losses, and 1 draw in there as well. But all that is experience, right? Win or lose, you've made that walk. You've stepped in the cage. It counts for something on a night like this when they're stepping into the bright lights of the biggest promotion in Europe. It really could be a deciding factor.
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say it's completely different. 36 years old, never experienced anything like this in his life. Amateur mixed martial arts is very, very different to the pro ranks, especially here at Octagon. So with the level we have here at Octagon, the production, the people, just the grandeur of the event, it's just such a different feeling, and you feel that importance, especially when you're taking on someone who is the younger brother of the main event, all the hype's behind him. You kind of know that you're being set up in a way to have that performance, extra pressure. He's got to deliver all of that on this debut and our first fight of the night.
And again, this is an amateur fight, so over 3 3-minute rounds between these two. But he said he lost his last fight, and he was very down about that, you know, thinking about what to do next. And then he got the call to step into this opportunity knocked, and he said his jaw hit the floor. The thought of walking out into the arenas that he's been watching his friends compete, and you know, you see the rise in Berlin, some of the superstars over there, and now he gets to make that same walk and fight in that same cage. He feels like this is a special moment, and he wants to put on a show tonight.
Handling it well. We'll find out how he does against this man.
And listen and look. His brother has had a stratospheric rise through the ranks, through Octagon, through the European scene. But this man has been side by side with him, 19 years of age. And look, he's been training since he was like 11 or 10, started with Luta Livre, then moved into boxing, became a regional champion in boxing, then moved into weightlifting, started to like bodybuild. But as Max rose, these opportunities came, and he's always been training alongside those guys. I talked to Hugo Back, I talked to Haji Akseka. They said, look, even when he was doing the bodybuilding stuff, he would jump in for rounds. He would, he would join the sparring of the pros, and they say he's very good. You look at his record of 1-0, and you might underestimate him. You look at his name and think, oh, he's just trying to ride on the coattails of his brother. But his coach, David Palakai, the guy there with the pork pie hat on, he said to me, do not underestimate this kid. He has pro-level skills. So tonight, he gets to prove it.
He gets to prove it, and I mean, younger brother, I would have definitely said he's the older brother. Look at the size of this man, sporting the beard as well. Looks very confident, very comfortable, and in his element here as he's making his debut as an amateur for Octagon.
Yeah, Johnny Palakai there, who was supposed to be our main event with the featherweight title against Makai. You saw him in the corner as well. All of these guys just talk about how good he is, and we watched back that first fight he had as an amateur, and again, all the media eyes of Germany were on him because of his name, because of the, you know, carrying the same name into the cage. Would he have the same gravitas that we've seen from Max HOLZER? He put on a hell of a fight. I think it was 3 rounds. He eventually got the finish, but it was a war, Luke. What you saw there was not just the skill set, but the heart he had to fight. So I'm excited, Luke. I think this could be something special, and both these guys at the press conference said, we're just here to put on a show.
And a very individual style compared to Max as well. You know, Max, when he rose through Octagon, it was a lot of grappling. This man comes for war. He comes forward, and I feel like he does try and put something on for the fans. Here we see in the tail of the tape.
There we see the big difference, 36 versus 19. Height and reach identical. The records there, they've looked at them as if they're pro. This will be an amateur fight. Jan HOLZER is 1-0 as an amateur, and 2-3-1 for Paul HOLZER. Set and ready are you two free them again to whet your appetite for the 9 fights to follow, including that main event, which will see Max HOLZER take on TAHA. Let's get this one underway. To do that for the first time tonight, let's hand it to the one, the only, Andrei Novotny.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, welcome here in the great city of Hanover, Octagon 88, and we got 10 fights for you, and this is the first one. Actually, the second amateur fight in Octagon history. 3 rounds, 3 minutes. The referee in charge is Josef Loach. Let me introduce you, both fighters, and we will start in a blue corner. He's 36 years old, stands 183 centimeter tall, weighed in 83 kilos, represents Spikes Gym Berlin and Newcom Sports. Coaches in his corner are Spike Miller, Niels Tachter, Maurice Wolny. He has an amateur record of 6 fights, 2 wins, 3 losses, 1 no contest. Fighting out of Germany, Paul the Grizzly HOLZER. Across the cage, in the red corner, he's 19 years old, 183 centimeter tall, weighed in 83 kilos, represents Fight School Hannover. Coaches in his corner are David Palokaj, Onkel Rexy, and Meister Eder. This is a second amateur bout. 1 fight, 1 win. Represent Neruda Cup team Eder Rimazov, and fighting out of Germany, Hannover, Jan Milf Hunter HOLZER!
Fighters, you know the rules. Follow my comments. Stop is stop, hard fight fair, touch your gloves and go back to the corner. Good luck.
So this will be contested under the amateur rule set. Joseph Loach will be our man in charge of the action. 3 3-minute rounds should we need them. Jan Holzer taking on Paul Coles. Paul Coles you'll see there in the blue corner. White shorts, Holzer. Black shorts, red corner. And off we go, Luke.
Holzer in his element, enjoying himself, coming out in that southpaw stance.
Oh, and again, he came from a boxing background. Won regional titles here in Hanover. And you can already see that jab works well. Oh,
yeah, feinting well as well. Good base beneath his feet and jab into the body, up and down, throwing that left with some venom and catching. Holzer now he's just stuck up against the fence.
Oh.
Needs to be aware of where he is.
That jab is leading everything, and again, that southpaw stance, that left hand locked and loaded.
Yeah, the left hand getting through as well, finding a home a couple of times already. Looks locked in early, does Holzer.
Oof, nice low kick though from Holzer.
Yeah, bend the knee there, seemed to hurt him as well, and goes inside this time. Stalking his man well, goes down to the body, like how he's going high and low.
Holzer's got to get away from the cage, right? He's kind of trapping himself with lack of movement. Oof.
But doing very well with those close kicks. Nice right hook as well, heavy. Oh. Way big left hand. Exactly how we thought this one would start. Holzer bringing the pressure. Slips in and out, nice head movement from both men. And again, finds a home for that left hand.
Oh, really? The output is there. It's all coming off that lead jab. Again, that inside kick though from Holzer.
Yeah, not dealing with those kicks very well. But Holzer, he's just positioning himself badly. If he could circle out and find the center of the octagon cage, I feel like he could have a lot more success. Oh, big left hand.
There's a nice one. First real touch, follows it up again.
That time.
Oh, this could be it already. Jan Holzer following the footsteps of Max, and he's done it. He's done it. His octagon debut, and gets it done in 1.
And you see what it means to him. Emotional and outrage from Holzer.
I think he's ready to go again. He's after the cameraman, Luke. There you go. Will we top and tail this event with 2 Holzer victories? The first of which we have seen with an impressive performance, a disciplined display of striking, Luke.
Discipline, but he almost wrote how he was going to go from the offset. In the face, like he said, Holzer put himself in terrible positioning as he gets up on the cage. Put himself in real bad position and didn't make the adjustments he needed to. And the beautiful right jab of Holzer was high and low, and he just set himself up with that left hand. Then he switched it to an uppercut. We'll see in the replay, and it was the uppercut that really got the job done. But a great display, lots of improvements needed for him to stay here at Octagon. Obviously, early days, still in the amateur ranks, but has great potential there, Brian.
And let's also talk about managing the moment, Luke. Again, he looks every bit the star walking out, comfortable, relaxed, and then that disciplined performance, didn't rush. Really, really opened up that strike and opened up the finish, and we'll see it now, that the jab and the lead hand to start with, but it was all about the power of the left.
There was the looping left hand that started it off, but it was how he covered up and he went for the uppercut. That was the shot that really hurt him. And so you see he drops off the back end of that, and he follows up quite well. Lucky that one hit the shoulder and was on the back of the head. That one right on the ear. Good work from our referee member as well, amateur ranks. So maybe a quick stoppage for professional, but in the AMs, that was perfect. Beautiful left hand, and here's the uppercut that really did the damage. That was the one that finished it for me. Then he followed up and got the job done. But it was controlled, it was measured, great distance. You know, HOLZER was just in complete control of the entire fight.
Unbelievable stuff, and you could see the emotions. Well, Fight School Hannover starting with a boom. Jan HOLZER claiming his first win inside the cage.
I fear not being enough. I fear being too much. But mostly, I fear not trying at all. So I face it. I face my ego. I face my doubts. I face myself. I face the world. And in that facing, I find my power.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 1 minute and 54 seconds in the very first round, the winner by TKO coming from the red corner, Jan HOLZER!
Jan HOLZER, komm mal rüber, mein Bester.
Jan HOLZER, come here and join me.
Glückwunsch erstmal.
Congratulations.
Alles gut, kein Problem. 19
Everything's
Jahre
okay, no
alt, dein
problem.
zweiter MMA-Kampf vor so
You
einer
are
Kulisse
19 years
und du hast
old,
einen
and this
wirklich
is
dominanten
your
Sieg
second
geholt.
MMA
Wie fühlt sich
fight
das
in
jetzt
your
gerade
career.
Boah, ich sag
And
jetzt
this is
ehrlich,
your hometown. How
ich
are you
weiß, dass ich
feeling?
hingehöre und es ist genau
I have
das,
to
worauf ich
say,
bestimmt bin.
it's
Es ist mir
exactly
komplett
what I
scheißegal, was
dreamed
jemand
for.
sagt. Ihr könnt euch alle ficken, die
And
sagen,
what I
das
dreamed
stimmt
of.
nicht. Und ganz
Some of
ehrlich,
you could
ich bin
say
hier.
that I'm not
Let's
that
go.
good, but
Ganz ehrlich, ich hab
you
bis jetzt
see
viele Schwinger
what I
gehauen, aber
just
scheiß
did in the
drauf.
cage. Yeah.
Lass uns vielleicht noch mal ganz kurz ins Replay
Let's
oben
look at
gucken.
that finish.
Ja? Du hast
Let's
ihn von
look at the
Anfang an
replay.
boxerisch wirklich eingedeckt, aber dann gab es so einen
From the
Schlag,
very
der dann doch der
beginning,
Sargnagel
you
war. Wie hast
really
du das
went in
erlebt?
hard with those
Ja, ich hatte
hits,
das
but
Gefühl, er
how
trifft
were you
mich zwar,
feeling
aber
in the
irgendwie-
cage?
I had the feeling that he is hitting me, but yeah, I just tried to hit him all at once then,
Ja,
and
ich denke, die Mission ist auf
It
jeden Fall
worked.
aufgegangen. Du hast im Vorfeld zum Kampf schon gesagt,
Well, I
wenn du diesen
feel
Kampf
that
gewinnst,
you
dann
were
willst du bald
successful
bei
in
den
your
Profis
mission, and you
starten.
mentioned
Ist das jetzt das
previously
Ziel
that
für dich?
if you won,
Ich möchte jetzt
you
noch
would
nicht
soon
genau
be a
sagen.
pro.
Ich
Is
weiß,
that
dass
a
mein
goal
Bruder
for you?
und mein Double,
I don't
mein
want to
Coach
say
Paulo Kai,
anything.
der immer einen guten Plan
I
haben.
know that my
Und auch,
brother and
übrigens,
Johnny have
mein
a
Coach
good
Paulo
plan,
Kai
and
coacht heute 6 Leute.
Johnny
Und
Paulokai,
ohne
he's
ihn
my
hätte ich das
coach.
hier heute nicht
Without
so
him, I
hingekriegt.
wouldn't have
Deswegen
been able to
einen
do
dicken
this
Applaus an
today.
David
So
Paulokai
please give
und
it
an die
up for
Fight School
Johnny
Hannover.
Paulokai, to
An meinen
Fight School
Boxtrainer
Hannover,
Robert.
to my
Vielen Dank
trainer
an alle, die mich
Robert,
unterstützt
and
haben.
everyone who
Ihr seid
is
die Besten.
supporting me.
Und danke,
You're
dass
the
ihr
best.
alle heute da
Thank you
wart.
so much for
Hurra.
being here and supporting
Dankeschön,
me.
Hannover. Das war
Ladies
Jan
and gentlemen,
HOLZER.
Hanover. This has been Jan HOLZER.
So there we have it, Jan HOLZER. A successful debut in the octagon cage, 2-0 as an amateur. The question mark being, will he make a move to the pro ranks there? He credited David Paulokai, Johnny Paulokai in his corner, and they've talked about it openly. Fight School Hannover is more than just a gym, Luke, it's a family, and you look at the talent that's coming through, and Jan HOLZER has to be put up there with them.
Has to be, I mean, his second ever time competing. Knocking someone out like that, I mean, it's a certain skill set that you need to have. You've either got it or you haven't. Jan HOLZER's definitely got it.
So there we go, we are off. You will see us next for the prelims.
This city is in our DNA. 10 years ago, we began turning an incredible dream into a reality right here. And you've been part of it since the very beginning. Your birthday party with stellar company. Martin Budaj, Robo Pukac, Ronnie Paradisa, Veronika Smolkova, Marek Mazuk, Rada Banushkert. See you in Bratislava. Octagon 89, June 6th, Tipos Arena. Tickets at octagonmma.com.
June 6th, we'll be back in Bratislava, but the business is right here in Hanover, the ZAG Arena. What a way to kick it off, Luke. We said briefly when we looked through the card, there's a chance we might get 100% finishes with the type of matches we got on the cards tonight.
Explosive fights, and we started perfectly. You know, Jan Holzer proved something tonight, like I said, second ever time competing, and to get a knockout the way that he did, it's impressive stuff.
Really, really impressive. And his brother will fight in our main event. Of course, our co-main event will see Hugo Back versus Teo Smith. 9 fights to go on this card. This has been our YouTube free prelim, and look, given one fight, one reason they should tune in and buy that pay-per-view to stay with us.
For me, you know who it is. Hugo Back is probably, for me, the biggest prospect the Octagon has. He has every part of the game, but the thing is, inside the Octagon cage, he just performs beautifully. He floats, and everything is perfect. So I'm looking forward to another night of perfection from him.
So you can join us live. Thank you for joining us for our YouTube free prelim. This fight up next. Imran Darubekov taking on Bediran Kabak. This is a fight that sees for the first time the two gyms of HOLZER and TAHA come together. Kabak is a sparring partner of TAHA and Darubekov a wrestling partner of the one and only Max HOLZER. This fight coming up next.
Imran Darubekov is a typical example of a silent killer who's focused on achieving greatness. Years ago, he trained alongside huge names such as Engizek and Dulatov. After taking a break from competing, he recently returned to the scene and wasted no time dominating inside the cage. With a total score of 4-0, he has yet to be defeated, and his performances command the utmost respect. He's defeated 2 opponents with submissions in the first round, and now he's coming to show what he's made of inside the Octagon cage. But he'll be going head-to-head with another bloodthirsty talent. Bediran Kabak entered the professional ranks in the most explosive fashion. He scored victory in his debut bout with a knockout in the first round. It took him less than 3 minutes to secure the win, and this performance has really built his momentum. The Turkish Banza also brings experience from stand-up fighting into the cage. He's won a title in a K1 promotion, and devastating punches are among his greatest weapons.
Bediran Kabak. Now moving towards his second pro fight. Won that first pro fight in just 2 minutes and 40 seconds. And I have to say, Luke, when you look back at his striking pedigree, the 68 bouts he's had in K1, the world title he caught in that discipline as well. His transition to MMA has been nothing short of spectacular. His amateur pedigree is very good. That 1-0 finish showed everything about him. He moves so well. He has got so much power. He's elusive and explosive, and he's going to have to use both of those to avoid the grappling, the wrestling of Darubekov tonight.
Yeah, Darubekov, everyone knows, you know, the prowess that he has and the grappling that he has. But the funny thing is, so many people didn't want to fight him. This man stood up and said, I'll take on that challenge. And not only that, but Darubek, you can feel a bit of hesitation and fear about it because of the knockout power and the prowess this man has, and he enters the same way. Very intimidating, has real aura and energy, and has self